adults are deteriorated children. It's like with the first from 0 to 7. That's where we literally code damn near our entire lives. Like if you were born in a Muslim family, 9 times out of 10 you will do as the Muslims do. If you were born in a Christian family, and so that's how it is. Like that's your childhood domestication. Your language, how you feel about money, your worthiness, all of that is modeled by mom and dad or brother, whoever's around the house. Well, 30 years removed from that, and you're like, oh, why is it not happening to me? I got all the talent, but the money is not matching. Mm-hmm. And most people are focusing on what's happening now, but they've abandoned all the things that they stuffed down as a little kid, or when their father molested them, or something that's impacted them, and then they created a story, and then the story created their life. So I'm like, man, let's go to the heart of the story, where it was originally created. So it's so important, because if you try to change the person, you'll never change the person. But if you change the system changes the person. It's like school. You can't change the kids, but you can change the system at which they're learning. That will change the kids, because that'll shift how they're learning, and then that will change their behaviors. So I kind of found a way to go into people's beginning stages of learning, ABCs, when dad first left, when mom didn't pay attention, when dad, all he did was work but never said, I'm proud of you. And so now you feel like as an adult, nobody sees me. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we take that, and I was like, what's your earliest memory? And we just keep going back, and we keep going back. And then once I hit a main line and you start being like, well, I don't want to talk about that, that's what we talk about. And so it's super important, because if you don't do that, then your future will become a recreation of your past. You can't outrun yourself. So if you keep trying to change what's at the surface, that's like plucking a weed from the top and expecting it to be gone. You got to pluck it from the root. So when you go to the root, it's a little bit harder. You got to dig into the ground. And I have a philosophy: you got to dig deep in order to build high. So if you want to have deep connections and deep intimacy and like be deep in the world, might as well learn something deep about yourself, so that you can have the tools to go into the world in that way.
Are you suggest, like, from what I'm understanding of what I'm hearing you say, is that the idea really is to bring awareness towards where everything started, and as a child, as a parent, or whatever that might be, and to be able to bring attention to that, and then finding a way to accept it, or finding a way to do what?
Yeah, so first,
once you've got the awareness.
Yeah. So first it starts with awareness, because you might be trying to change and change and change and change. That's like going into your car and saying, hey, I want to go to a address. Mm-hmm. So you're just going to be driving and driving and driving. Well, you can't hit a target you don't have. So first it starts with awareness, because if you don't know why you're triggered whenever your wife says this, and then you take it out on her, but you're really taking it out on your mom on something she did when you were 5, and you stuffed it down, but you're not supposed to talk back to adults, and you stuffed it and stuffed and stuffed, and now everybody that reminds you of your mom, it just comes out, and it comes out on your boss, it comes out on women, it comes. So what I'm suggesting is, once you're aware and you identify it, now you take all the power away from everybody else who you blamed for making you feel a certain way, and you take responsibility for the story that you created. Because what happened is what happened, but what you did about it is what you're shaping, creating in your life. So once you're able to identify it and accept it, now you say it's a place for, because you can't change what you're not aware of. And once you're aware of it, now it's like, okay, so what do I want to do with this feeling? I can hold on to it, or I can learn to forgive myself and learn to forgive the person who actually, anytime I think of this person comes up. So through letting go of resentment it frees you, and forgiveness will complete the cycle. And so there's people that hold on to stuff and they pack it down. If you want to free yourself, and my philosophy is go to the place where you trapped yourself, because you hold the key to that. Sometimes you don't know to go there by yourself. So that's why it's always good to have some kind of guide that can safely take you to that place. Kind of like learning the ABCs. Never seen a kid teach himself the ABCs. They have a teacher, and then you just go through it as a collective, and it's a safe space. Then everybody learns ABCs. So once you then go to that space, and then you say, and I'm willing to release it and let it go, and I love this, and maybe express the pent up emotion, because your body stores emotion. So if you have stuck energy somewhere inside of your nervous system, that's just like a water hose with a knot in it. You can turn on it full blast, little spigots will go through. But if you undo the knot, now the water that's designed to flow will happen. Well, that's the same thing that happens with ancient wisdom, infinite wisdom, creativity, sexual transmutation, because we're a channel. Well, stuck energy causes your channel to block. But if you can locate where inside of your nervous system you have stuck energy, and then release it and say what you always wanted to say to your dad. You don't have to say it to them, but at least express those emotions. You did this. You didn't see me. You weren't around. Da, da, da. You let it all out the way you want to, how you want to. And then you say, and I accept you fully. And I love you. And I forgive you. And I forgive myself. From this point forward, I'm creating the possibility of having a loving, open relationship with such and such and such, if you want to. Without making the other person wrong for what they did. You're just taking responsibility for your own nervous system and resentment, because it's only hurting you. So it's a really difficult process. However, anyone that's like truly gone through that work, you notice a certain peace about them. You notice a certain joy about them.